my dog's broken. Jose. He's broken. Alright guys, so went to a buddy's house yesterday and got me some parts. I traded a car for him. Didn't really have time for that car, so because I've got all these other SRT projects going on. So I've got an 05 transmission, AC compressor, thermostat housing upper and lower, headlights, stock turbo setup with the manifold. It's a stock turbo with the blue plate. I've got all the lines for it. Car and a carbon fiber trunk. I gotta sand all that orange stuff off of there. That's gonna go on the red car. Took the RSX out there. Wife and I kind of went on a cruise, so that is gonna go, that trunk lid is gonna go on this car. There's the black 05, so I need to get rid of this. And so far I've got the carbon fiber wing, the fenders, and the hood, and the eyelids. So I'm going to get these out of here and go set them over either next to the car or start putting them in the car. I'm not really sure yet, but I'm making some progress here. My favorite part is this came with a little holder that sits inside the wheel well. That's cool. I gotta find the bolt that goes in here. So let me get these parts out of here and maybe put them in the car. We'll see. Okay guys, so here's the recap on my black 05. It's got BC coilovers. For the most part it's stock. I do have a side exit exhaust that I'm probably going to put on it until I can find a stock exhaust, because this is just going to be a daily driver, because this is my fully built big turbo SRT, so I don't really want anything extravagant. So this is again just going to be a stock daily. That and this, when I got this car, it didn't have a throttle cable, so I had to go searching for a throttle cable, and for some reason I started thinking PT Cruiser, and believe it or not, this here, that throttle cable is out of a PT Cruiser, and it works. It may be a little bit shorter than the actual SRT one is, but it works, which is the important thing. I've got the throttle body on there. I'm going to take that one off because I've got sensors on the other one. I'm just going to throw that one on there. So that clutch, yeah, I think it's XTD. No, I'm not 100% sure on that. But I've got my engine bay harness all in there. I've got it strewn out here. I do need an alternator for it, and that thermostat housing obviously is going to replace that one. So let me throw these headlights in here. This accumulator is actually going to come out because I have that other one that I got from my buddy. So I wanted to clean up the harness a little bit. I mean, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't need a whole lot of work, because I've built these cars from, well, not built them, but assembled them from literally the ground up. So I can just show you really quick. It needs a carpet, but it's not terrible. The factory radio harness is in there. It's got the factory boost gauge, but I believe the boost gauge is broken because it doesn't sit at 0 anymore. So I've got my exhaust back there, the intercooler, my starter's right there. I'm going to probably do something about those seats. I have other seats I'm going to throw in there. So let me, I'm going to go ahead and throw these headlights in, and possibly the radiator. Well, I probably can't with that board sitting there. I only have it there because I don't want the engine to rip out those bushings. So, and if you guys ever had to, this mount, you can take this bracket off, two 18mm bolts, because when you go to take this off, there's a bottom nut on the bottom. And when you go to take that off, it spins. So I actually took this bracket off and flipped it over and welded that nut on the bottom part so it doesn't spin anymore. It helped a lot. So that valve cover that was in the back of the RSX, I'm gonna probably throw it on here because it's in better shape. But either that or I'm gonna paint it purple so it'll match the intake manifold. And the new thermostat housing, that'll probably get painted as well. I did put a new clip in there for the fuel rail. So yeah, and I need to get a new slave cylinder. I've got the little line right there, the adapter part. I just got to get the one piece that goes on there, which is probably going to be hard to get to, but I'll eventually find one. That hose right there on the ground, it's got to go up there, but I'm probably going to pull the dash out and replace the heater core while it's apart before I go ahead and put everything back on there. I do have the hood, it's sitting right there, so I'm going to get to putting this thing somewhat together today. I'm not going to do a whole lot, but maybe in another part of the video I'll have more done. But for right now, I just want to get the parts out of the car and either next to or inside this car. This is, I wanted to weld that part because it kind of broke on us. I'm just going to hold it there with a pair of vice grips and weld it, and hopefully it'll fix it. So again, this throttle cable, or accelerator cable if you will, came out of a PT Cruiser. I can't remember what year it was, but it definitely came out of a PT Cruiser. So I want to replace the cam sensor and the magnet, and possibly the crank sensor, which is right there. I'll probably replace that before the transmission goes in, just so you know I don't have to worry about it in the future. I got to get vacuum lines and stuff, but I mean, it's all a work in progress, so we'll see. All right, let me get to putting these parts either in the car or next to it. So I got that in, that's all in there. I hear you, baby. So the AC compressor, because this engine came out of a PT Cruiser, I got to change out that bracket right there. Because if you look, that doesn't quite line up. The mounting bracket apparently is wider on a PT than it is on a SRT4, so hopefully I have another bracket for the SRT. If not, then I gotta hit up a buddy and see if he's got one. But I started plugging in the harness. This headlight I can't use on the driver's side because the harness is missing. So I don't know what happened with that, but what can you say? They were free, so I'll just have to get new ones, I guess. But for the most part, I have to throw the T-stat on there. I gotta get the bolts for it. That, and I gotta drill that out. Come on, focus. Focus. Come on. It doesn't want to focus for me. Anyway, that bolt has to get drilled out. That one's got to get drilled out. That one's got to get drilled out because that broke off. This one is the only one that doesn't have to get drilled out. So, little progress is progress, I guess. The valve cover, obviously, I think it looks a lot better. I'm thinking about swapping out that fuel rail too because I'm not sure if I like that. I've got a chrome stock one. So installed the radiator pipe, the T-stat, all of that. That's all tidy. Still got a little bit more tidying up to do. So I mean, this is kind of driving me nuts. But I also hung that up. Hi, Annie. So this is the progress. I'm gonna swap out that throttle body, but I'm probably not gonna do that because I gotta pull it off to put the transmission on anyway. So a little more, just a little bit more.